Hello, great people. Drama involved in the Nigerian Senate as Senator Natasha Akpoti and Senate President Godswill Akpabio engaged in an altercation. In a moment, I will leave you to watch the video, and when we come back, we'll be dissecting the associated issues. What led to that altercation? What are the politics behind it? What is the relationship between Natasha and Godswill Akpabio? And what is the politics that usually go on in the Senate? What are the untold stories that are going on in the Nigerian Senate? We'll be dissecting this and a whole lot more on this episode of Politics with Dr. Omosoladeji. First, let us go and watch the video of Senator Natasha Akpoti, and we come back for some interesting discussion. Let's watch.
Please.
Distinguished Chief Whip of the Senate, your point of order is sustained.
Order, please.
Nice to speak from there. That is the order of the Senate.
Sir, order 10 on privileges.
Sasha.
Any senator may rise at any time
Can the
to
Sergeant
speak
Adam
upon a matter of
please
privilege suddenly
take her out of the
arising,
Senate?
and he shall be prepared to move without
Okay.
notice.
Okay.
A motion declaring that the content of breach of
Show me
privilege
the
has
session
been
that allows suspension immediately.
Mr. President, after civil rights incident, you have deliberately silenced my voice and the voice of Kogi Central on this block. You have denied me the right to contribute to motions. I have not been able to take the second reading of my numerous debates. So, Mr. Senate President, I am not afraid of further being silent. I will not be shocked to the corner. I refuse, as the Senator newly elected by my people, I choose to remain on this seat. Because you will do, Mr. Senate President, is to suspend me from sitting. And I promise you, the fact that I am suspended does not mean that I will cease to contribute my quota to the development of my people, the women of Nigeria, and Nigerians at large. Mr. Senate President, I have taken a whole lot from you. Some I don't want to speak publicly, but in due course I will tell Nigerians know how you have discriminated against me, how you have maligned me, how you have dehumanized me. Your voice of voice is everything that is saying in the Senate. I'm talking about the human race to the womankind, and I have tolerated a whole lot. So Mr. Senate President, I am not afraid of you. Do what you will, but I will not leave this seat.
There you have it. You just watched the video of the altercation between Senator Natasha Akpoti of Kogi State and Senate President Godswill Akpabio from Akwa Ibom State. What led to that altercation? What led to that heated argument? Some senators, they come from the opposition PDP and Labour Party to the ruling All Progressive Congress. So there need to be some change of seating arrangement, and the seating arrangement that they made did not favor Senator Natasha Akpoti. You will recall that Senator Akpoti once had an altercation with Senate President Godswill Akpabio some time past, and their relationship has not been too cordial. So maybe that played a role in the seat that she was allotted, because there's the politics of seat arrangement in the Senate, which I will come back to. So when the seat was given to her, she protested that no, this shouldn't have been the case. And when she entered into the chamber, instead of going to sit on the seat that was allocated to her, she decided to take her former seat. And the Senate leader, Senator Munguno, acknowledged that they arranged that seat because of the people that have defected. But Senator Natasha Akpoti was not buying that. So in the course of that, Senator Godswill Akpabio acknowledged the statement of Senator Munguno that if you don't sit according to arrangement, you will not be recognized to make contribution on the floor of the Senate. And if the presiding officer, who happens to be the Senate President or occasionally the Deputy Senate President, if they did not authorize you to speak, if they did not acknowledge you when you raise up your hand, you are not entitled to speak, so that there can be decorum on the Senate floor. So when Senator Natasha Akpoti heard that, she was now trying to raise a point of order. And while trying to raise the point of order, Akpabio didn't acknowledge it. But she went ahead to raise the point of order. And after raising the point of order, and while she was reading it, Akpabio got angry. Now, I intentionally laid this background for you so that you can be in line with me as I proceed into the analysis of what happened. Now, Senator Akpabio said, Sergeant at arms. Sergeant at arms. Then he now said, show me the section that announced suspension immediately. Now, those 2 points, let me dwell on that first. First, if a senator like you are first among equal. You are a senator, she is a senator. You are representing a constituency in Nigeria, she is representing a constituency. For you to be a Senate president, you are first among equal. So you cannot call sergeant at arms to your fellow senator while raising a point of order. If your senator is unruly, if your senator is destroying the property of the Senate, if two senators are fighting, then you can call a sergeant at arms on that particular senator. But on this instance, Senator Natasha was wise to raise a point of order. And the rule of the Senate says that once a point of order is raised, you must acknowledge that senator to speak about that point of order, because it is assumed that the Senate may perhaps be derailing. So if any senator notice that, the senator will raise a point of order to be able to put the Senate back on the right track. So you cannot suspend a senator for raising a point of order. Now, Senator Natasha Akpoti deciding to sit on a seat that wasn't allocated to her is wrong. But the fact that she raised a point of order, you cannot call a sergeant at arms on a fellow senator because she raised a point of order. If before that point of order was raised, if you have noticed and you call the sergeant at arms to say, oh, please, the senator is not observing the seat arrangement, or if the other senator that owns that particular seat, that the seat has been allocated to, now come in, and if that senator insists on having his or her seat, and it becomes an altercation between them, then you can call the sergeant at arms. But the senator raised a point of order. It is not when she raised that point of order that you will now decide to call the sergeant at arms. Another point, which is the show me the section that announced suspension immediately. That is very wrong. You cannot say because you have an altercation with the senator and you now want to suspend that immediately without any investigation. Even the issue is still on. So you want to, that is abuse of power, to my mind, because you cannot just say because you have an altercation with her and there's an heated argument, you just want to suspend her. So you saying that show me the section that announced suspension immediately is an abuse of power, a gross abuse of power, at that. So it is wrong for Senator Godswill Akpabio to even think of initiating a suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti because she raised a point of order. You could have used and not compliance with the seat arrangement to nail her before she raised that point of order, not after she raised a point of order that you now say you want to suspend her. That is not right in the true sense of it. But one thing is, I like the fact that Senator Natasha refused to walk out. You will see that in that video, she refused to walk out. Two things: she refused to vacate that seat and she refused to walk out. Now, not following the rule of the Senate, not following the sitting arrangement, I'm not in support of that. But I'm happy that she refused to walk out of that particular chamber, that she is still present to represent people. Perhaps if Akpabio have not said, oh, show me the section that announced suspension immediately, definitely maybe Senator Natasha, out of annoyance, would have walked out. But because Akpabio made the intention known that he wants to suspend her, that is why Senator Natasha decided to stay back. So I like the fact that she refused to walk out. Now to the politics of sitting arrangement. You see, in the Nigerian Senate, if you are not part of the caucus of the Senate leadership, they will go and put your seat at an unfavorable place. instead of you to be at the strategic place or to be at the front or towards the front. I learned that the front rows are usually reserved for ranking senator. Senator Natasha is a first-time senator, but then there are some first-time senators that are in the clique that they will still arrange, some favorable, or should I say semi-favorable seat for them. But Senator Natasha Akpoti was thrown to the back. It shows that when plenary is going on, even our colleagues cannot see her except they look back. That is when they would see her. So the politics of sitting arrangement exists in the Senate. But what I can say is that one of the hallmark of leadership is you being able to be fair. Even if Senator Natasha is not in your clique and you don't want to be fair, definitely you should do it in a mature way, in such a way that it won't reflect, it won't be so obvious that you don't like the woman or you are against her, because Nigeria usually side with the oppressed. In this case now, Senator Natasha Akpoti, one is the woman, they will say, oh, you are not being man enough. Even if she's the one that is wrong, Nigerians will say, oh, you are not being man enough. Look at you. You are a yeye man, you are a mumu man, you are fighting a woman, you are arguing with a woman. Even if it is that woman that is wrong. So Nigerians usually side with the oppressed. And in this case, people will want to side with Senator Natasha Akpoti. You too will have your own supporter. But I'm sure that if we do a voting, most Nigerians will want to side with Senator Natasha Akpoti. Well, one thing I can say is I hope this will not affect the re-election of the senator, because there's politics of Senate re-election. And I'll give you an example. When Dino Melaye was being troublesome, when he was, giving the Senate an edict, some of the senators that are very influential will go and work in the state. They will go and raise candidate in the state, sponsor that candidate to make sure that that Senate do not return. Such usually happen in Nigeria. So I hope that this altercation will not affect the re-election of Senator Natasha Akpoti, because Akpabio is very influential and of course he is a politician with a large pocket. But we must not fail on a lighter note that why is Akpabio fighting a pretty lady? Because Akpabio seems to like pretty ladies. When the wife of Ojukwu, Bianca, was present in the front of the senators for our ministerial screening, the way Akpabio was staring at that lady, even Ojukwu was angry in his grave that Akpabio, how dare you? Come on, your wife for my wife. Is it because you think I'm dead? So if you look at it, Akpabio usually likes pretty ladies. So is it that Akpabio do not see that Natasha is a pretty lady and is now fighting the pretty lady? Well, on a more serious note, I hope the Senate will be able to act maturely and give Nigeria the true matured leadership that Nigerians can have at its best, so that people that are learning, people that are contesting for lower offices, will begin to see them as a role model that they truly ought to be. And I hope that Senator Akpoti will not be witch hunt at any point in time for our action. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omosholadeji. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course I have great interesting videos coming your way. Till I see you again, always remember that I love you all sincerely.